All right, guys, this is part 2 to my top 10 things about Soleil that were either faulty or issues or need improvement and that sort of thing. If you haven't seen part 1, card is up there at the top. Feel free to go have a look at that. Pause this video, go watch that first, and then come back or watch this one and then watch that one. The order doesn't really matter. But we're going to get into the points 6 to 10, the second half of it, right now. Let's go and have a look. Point number 6, bugs and cheating. Now, obviously, this was the first time we had this event, and the only testing that they really had was the beta test, which was over a tiny period of time. Scale up the factor of time versus difficulty versus everything to go over a 2-month period, kind of made it skewed. Okay. It caused a lot of issues and it caused a lot of bugs in the game, like the placement of towers and mountains and things like that. But there were further problems to that than even that. We had blatant, I call it cheating, but I can't really confirm if it's cheating or not because the customer care people never ever got back to me. We had cases where let's just have a look to see. Hang on. I'm going to see if I can get back to the game quickly here. And sorry, my camera is skewed. It is a new setup. I've moved around a bit, so let me just adjust this for you. There. All right, let me just see if we can go to my territory and I can just show you something quickly. Yeah, there we go. There's PTA. Okay. So what happened was we were busy building towards our castles. Okay, we had 2 castles along the route. I can get up to them easily quickly here for you. Come on, come on. Right. So here was the first castle. Okay. And we were headed towards this castle. And what happened? We surrounded the castle very simply enough. And we were heading towards the second secret castle. Because my alliance was too small to actually take this castle on its own. It required assistance, which once again is a 2-day period. Then, while we were doing this alliance here, PYT, which is from one of the opposing kingdoms, managed to put a tower inside my territory, not connected to any territory of their own. Their tower that they placed, where's that fortress? Okay, the fortress was taken down, it looks like, at some point. There's another one there. But effectively, what happened was somewhere around here, they placed a fortress, okay? After they placed their tower. They placed in a tower, literally, now I've lost the actual game there. Okay, well, they placed a tower literally inside my territory, and the gap between where that tower was and their closest territory point would have taken 3 towers to close up that area. How they did that, I have no idea. And then at another point, they managed to put on, when we were going for the second secret castle, they managed to put a fortress down in the middle of my territory, again, not connected to any of their territory, and grow. And once they had that fortress, they were able to place towers and things like that. They did this somehow. I reported it to customer care, and I messaged customer care every single day for about 1.5 weeks, saying, "Can you explain? Can you fix what's going on, etc., etc." They never got back to me, not once, not a single reply, not a sorry. We know that there's glitches and problems. Nothing. It was just left completely unanswered. And the result of that was they managed to actually get to my castles quicker than I could by placing their towers in places where they technically should never have been able to. That cost my alliance both castles, and it actually made my entire alliance feel like, well, what's the point of this event further? We're not big players. We can no longer get to either of the gates because of the way that these towers were just dropped in and cut us off completely. And the tower building was so fast that we could never take it down in time. So about a month into it, we left. We left Soleil. What was the point of going to stick around when there's nothing we could really do? The only strongholds that stayed behind were for the stronger monsters and for the stronger, the high level tile resources. So there were a lot of bugs, but the customer care center needs to actually respond to players. And there are players, if you go and look at the Discord server, there were hundreds of players complaining about similar problems or about people who are blatantly cheating, abusing bugs and things like that. That the development team, there is the part of the development team inside the Discord server, wasn't either paying attention or is not responding to anybody or trying to fix the problem. And you've just got these poor moderators who have no power, no control, no idea of what's happening in the background, trying to calm the waters and things like that. So there were a lot of bugs, and the customer care team really needs to get their finger out their butts and actually pay attention and and respond and reply to people. Blatant cheating caused a lot of problems for this event. It actually, my kingdom is at peace basically. 99% of the time there is peace. You have one or two players who are up to their normal shenanigans and up to no good, but as a whole, the kingdom's at peace. This event caused us, because of the bugs and errors, caused us to actually almost have civil war again, because it was a case of somebody goes for a tile and you see no marker, you see no placement that somebody's on there or anything, and you send off a march formation and you actually kill them by mistake and that. There were a lot of bugs, a lot of bugs and problems to this event that I believe they need to fix before they even contemplate running season 2. And make sure that the customer care team is actually prepared to deal with problems that do arise when they do. Number 7, the speed of building towers, something that I was talking about briefly now. It was so quick and easy to build towers in Soleil that bigger alliances could build far more towers than an alliance that was slightly smaller than it, for example, or even equal to it in size, could take them down. It took longer to take down a tower than it took to build a tower. I mean, there were points in time where it was 1 hour to build a tower, but 4 hours to destroy a tower. What that meant was that once somebody took an area, there was no way you could take it back. They would just drop towers constantly. I know the team tried to increase the price of the fortresses and that sort of thing for the same problem, but the towers were just, it was ridiculously fast. So what happened was it ended up being a case of there were far too many towers to enable anybody to actually take down enough towers or in enough time to progress any further, which meant that there was unfairness in the side of you could not take a territory once a territory taken, or it was extremely difficult, or you take a territory here because everybody's concentrating over there, but this is so far away from there that it's kind of almost pointless to take it from here because you still got to try and get there anyway. Okay, number 8. Why can't we go back to Soleil now? Soleil is in the wrap-up portion of the event. So effectively what happens is now the prizes go out and things like that, and The event is technically over, but the map is still open, and there actually are still players on the map itself. Um, I was just looking at it a little bit earlier. There are some players that are still there inside Sorelais, right by the center castle, Fort Oak, or in different spots of the map and that sort of thing. Still farming the higher tile resources, still taking on the higher level monsters and that sort of thing. But now that we came back to our original kingdom, we can't go back to Sorelais, and there was no warning saying that that would be the case. Once you came back, you then were told you can't go back in. I mean, if I try go into Sorelais now, for example, and it's still, as I say, it's still technically open, and there are still players there, and I say, let's go in. You can't enter Sorelais because the battle season is in settlement right now. But there are players that are in there right now, still getting the better monsters, still getting the better resources, simply because they didn't leave yet, or they were asleep at the time when most people came back, and they got told by their alliance, hang on a second, don't come back now because none of us can get back into the event. There was no warning telling people that if you leave now, you can't return. So I don't see why we couldn't return and take advantage of a little bit more fighting, a little bit more resource tile gathering, a little bit more better monsters hunting and things like that. So yeah, I don't see the point of why we can't go back to Soleil right now, or why there wasn't notification before we left saying that once you leave, you can't return. Point number 9. Where are our better monsters and tiles? Now that we've got a taste for level 9 and 10 tiles, and we've got a taste for 41 to 45 level monsters, we come back to our original kingdoms, and most of us don't have those monsters. Nobody has those tiles. Hopefully, with this new update that should be coming basically overnight or in the next very brief while, hopefully we will see the update to the monsters and the tiles. Hopefully, it comes very, very soon. But we've now had a taste for it, and the event is technically over. Are we going to get those monsters in our normal kingdoms? Are we going to get those tiles in our normal kingdoms? I hope so. I truly, truly do. I honestly thought that they would have, at some point during the event, through one of the multiple updates, had those resource points and monsters brought into the normal kingdoms, so that the people who were lower than SH21, for example, could still take some part in getting some sort of benefit out of it, like the higher tile resource points, the level 10 mining points, for example. I do hope that it's coming very, very soon. But we have heard no word about it. So where's our monsters and our resource points? Point number 10 is a good way to get players engaged in an event or to understand an event is to show them what is happening. Now, this is actually not just about Soleil. This is about the game in general. Um, a large aspect to KOA is learn by mistake. It's up to content creators such as myself to actually teach other people how to participate in events, how to join in and do something, how this works, how that works, how to upgrade equipment correctly, that sort of thing. Or in the case of Soleil, creating videos beforehand, explaining to people this is what Soleil is going to be like. And the only way we know that is because of people who have beta tested it and learned by mistake. Maybe it would be a good idea for KOA to actually create videos, a short video, even a 30-second teaser trailer, for example, that they can post out, which is very simple to do. They send out a system message with a link, like they do with their surveys. Get involved, click the link. It'll take you to a YouTube video of theirs that they have created that just shows you a brief overview of the event itself so that you can understand what you're actually getting into, or you can understand or see in advance what is actually going to happen or what is going to be needed or required in order to actually do something. I think that is going to be a fantastic idea and something that's going to help KOA immensely. If they want, they're interested and they want to do something like that, but they don't want to necessarily go out there and hire development teams and publishing teams and things like that, then reach out to the content creators. Take, for example, Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go, huge game, multi-billion-dollar game, doing extremely well, even still to this day. A lot of people joined and left, but there are so many people playing the game, and it is doing so well that the game is thriving. And what happens is the the Pokemon Go team have a set list of content creators who are the influencers. We'll use that term loosely, influencers in the game. And they reach out to them and say, right, this is some advanced information of what's coming. We want you to actually prepare your people, to prepare your viewers, to tell them what's coming, to let them know that this is the next event we're doing and this is how it's going to work, or something along those lines. KOA development team can do that too. It's a very simple process. I mean, I think there are maybe 10 to 20 of us content creators who actually have a big enough following for, for it to be worthwhile for them to reach out to us and say, this is what's coming. This is a specific thing that we want to explain to you, and we would like you to share with your viewers before it actually happens. I mean, it's a simple process. It's a simple thing to do. They have the Discord server, for example. They could create a channel that is dedicated to somebody from development, a couple of mods, and the content creators, for example, where they share this information. And the content creators can take that information, and we can make videos, and we can show people this is what is coming. This is what to expect. This is what's in the new update. This is how you participate in an event. This is how you actually achieve doing this, or achieve these goals and things like that. So I think that sort of thing would be an absolute help and an absolute must to this event. As right, well, that's my top 10, guys. As an in a nutshell, the event itself was nice and it was fun. The concept was great, but between the bugs, between the difficulty, between the blatant cheating, it just became, and the duration, it just became something that burnt out a lot of players, upset a lot of players, caused more fighting and war than actually was before the thing started, and it actually, to an extent, did more harm than good. Um, but the concept was fantastic, and I think that going forward, it can be done again, and it can be done properly if they just address the issues that are needed, and you'll have a lot more people that are participating, especially if you open it up to everybody and not just a select number of players. Right, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Drop your comments down below. Let me know what your feelings were about Soleil, how well you guys did do. If you agree with my 10 comments, if there's something that you feel that I didn't mention that for you was important and should have been on a top 10 list, or something that was just even outside of my realm, for example, of scope, that you wanted to comment on. Feel free to drop your comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And once again, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so that you can know whenever I make new. Till the next video, guys, be good, be well, safe. Bye.